I predict parents are going to homeschool their kids more in the next 10 years than ever before. One reason is that we want the
Ooh.
flexibility as a family to go travel and be in different places. I don't really want the school
Yep.
system telling me when I can and can't take my kids somewhere. Second reason is
Right.
just what the schools are teaching these days. Obviously, the left-wing media and agenda has taken over a lot of the school system. And ideologically, I don't agree with a bunch of it. They're going to learn a lot more by being with me at work and with my family than they are in the school system. Another reason is I think homeschooling, self-learning, and online education is going to explode in the next 10 years. I don't think it's going to be weird anymore if someone is homeschooled. I think it's going to be a pretty normal choice that people make. Much like it was weird if you didn't go to college, it's now becoming very normal that people don't want to go to college and go into debt, and instead, they would rather learn online from someone like me or anyone else who's actually doing something. So let me know your thoughts on homeschooling. Is it good long term? Will the kids get enough social skills? Let me know.
I gotta say, I love this the shameless self plug in there. Learn things like me with the picture of him with his Lamborghinis. It's pretty quickly you're like, oh, that's what this video is about. This has nothing to do with homeschooling. You just want to sell your course.
Well, he does make some excellent points in there, regardless of motivation.
Oh,
The
totally.
the
Go ahead. Yeah, go.
the thing that he started out with that just really made my day was we can travel together, and I don't need somebody giving me permission to do that. I'll never forget. I have a niece who I love dearly. She and her husband are very well educated. He had a PhD in his own company, and but they had had their kids in a private school until the pandemic. Well, it didn't take them long to think we don't like the way this education is working out, so she pulled them out to homeschool them. And I think they were like ninth and sixth grade or something along those lines. And Jill called me one day and she said, we just got in the car to take a trip with Craig while he's working to Colorado and spend a week or two. And I didn't have to ask anybody's permission. And I had taken that for granted so long with homeschooling. I didn't realize what a big deal that is, but that is a big deal when you once again have control over your family's schedule, their travel, their academics, all of that. I mean, that's an issue of parental rights.
Oh, totally. And it's interesting. You write issue of parental rights. That was the one he said, like, I don't want to really have to ask the school. What I liked about this clip as a whole is he kind of said left wing media is taking over the schools, blah blah blah. Maybe he has, maybe he hasn't done the research on where our school system came from by Horace Mann and John Dewey and why it's a disaster. If you're listening or watching, just click below and watch Zan's interview with Alex Newman because it'll educate you. But it was interesting that you could just tell this guy in his gut just knew that he could probably
That's
do better. You know what I
that's
mean? It
right.
was like he didn't
Yes.
need a big he
Yes.
was like and I also think it's interesting that technically, even if you're listening and your kid is in public school, you don't have to ask permission. Well, this is the
Now,
United States of America. So if you wanted to show up at the school whenever you want, yes, you have to go to the office to make sure that you're the guardian. You go to the office, you take your kid. They might give you grief for it, but they have zero legal standing to say you can't take. So you can do it, but isn't it just nice knowing that you don't even have to tell somebody and just deal with
well,
obnoxious phone calls? Where's your kid? And
if
they could
it's
call
too many,
truancy.
yeah, if it's too many days, they'll definitely charge you with truancy. And
That's true. What
you
what
know,
does that
s-
mean? Can you let's educate me a little bit, Zan. So if my kid's
so
in school, I just show up, tell the office, "Hey, I'm taking," and then we leave for vacation. What is truancy? What does
well,
that mean?
every school district and every school will probably handle it um, somewhat differently and depending on the parents and the children. But there are a certain number of days you have to attend school. In most states, I would say it's 180 days. And every district will give so many excused absences, like for illness or family emergencies, those types of things. But when you start missing days that aren't excused, I don't know what the number is. And there again, each state can be different. You can be charged for truancy because your kid has to attend school so many days. And so with homeschooling, you want to take a trip like that. what do? You pack your books with you, your videos, or whatever means they're using to study, and it just goes with you everywhere you go. And if live in a state where you're having to log your attendance, well, you can do homeschooling in the car or the RV or the hotel room or sitting in a national park. All of those things make great classrooms. I mean, when you
Oh my
homeschool,
gosh,
the
yeah.
world is your classroom. But
That's the
that's not,
whole yeah.
that's not the case with a brick and mortar school.
I
You
want I, wa-
do have to get permission.
I want to read some comments because you're right. I'm glad you educated me on that. I just checked the law for find law for New York for a first time truancy offense in the state of New York. First time, you can be fined $10, or if they want, they can put you in jail for 10 days.
Hmm.
They jail. And then if you do it again, the state has the right to put the parent in jail for up to 30 days, which for I mean, we could do a whole episode on that, that's ridiculous. But I would like to point a flaw in that system. So you're telling me if I don't put my child in school, you're going to put me in jail? Well, then then how is the kid going to get to school now that you put me in jail? Like that.
Well,
God.
if there's not a family member, they could go to foster care.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. Like, think of what's and let me read some comments here. These are very encouraging. We started homeschooling when COVID shut the world down. My kiddos are very well socialized. They attend a co-op. They go to children's church. My mother-in-law takes them to their appropriate senior citizen events. I'm sure the kids love that. Um, I especially love that we don't have to deal with the crazy morning rush of getting ready and out the door 5 days a week. And then all the comments are so encouraging, like responding. The crazy mornings is what sold me. I decided I was not going to do what I didn't want to do what I wanted when I was going to have to sit in traffic just to get to my kids to school on time. This one says we do homeschool as far as socializing goes. Kids are parrots; they imitate those around them. So, would you rather they imitate a bunch of kids like them that may that egg them on or do stupid things, or would you like them to be around you and your family? I mean, you've said that many times. And then this last comment, I've been working in various charter, private, and public schools as a substitute. I cannot stress enough how bad the situation is. I would never send my kids to these schools. And then we'll just summarize, but one of the largest growing sectors of homeschooling right now is public school teachers.
Interesting.
And I know we don't want to bash public schools, so
Well, they've seen
uh,
firsthand some of the issues.
yeah. So I mean, all these comments are so encouraging. I would even just say, like, I feel similar to this guy we run a family business, producing podcasts and media production. And I would way rather, like, my kids know who you are. You know what I mean? Like, they're in the house all the time when we're recording or you're
Yes.
producing, and they
Yes.
see, like, oh, this is what that is. And then they see editing and they just understand all these kinds of things. So
That's right. That's right. Well, I do think homeschooling is going to continue to grow with online learning, with all the groups now, all the co ops, all types of things. I think homeschooling will continue to grow.
yeah, I think we're going to see a reckoning. All these state organizations that we love and support, HEAV, like you mentioned in Virginia, Czech in Colorado, CHEA in California. I don't know all the acronyms, but they're in every state. I'm on a lot of their newsletters, and you're seeing more and more egregious bills that have not been presented for a long time. They're like,
That's
now
right.
it's starting to happen. They're starting to get really
Yeah.
aggressive.